After that fantastic Ashes win for England yesterday and, of course, the retirement of Freddie Flintoff, I'm delighted to be joined in the studio by Manchester Evening News cricket correspondent Chris Ostick. Chris, welcome.
Thank you.
Great time to be coming in, a good thing to talk about and a great day for English cricket.
Yeah, what a day. I must admit, going into the Oval Test match, I didn't think England had a hope of getting the victory they needed. I thought the Australians on that wicket, they'll get a draw and that would be it. But the performance was just outstanding, and Stuart Broad deserves all the credit for his performance in that Australian first innings. And Trott, what a debut! You know, scored a century in an Ashes decider.
Absolutely
Fantastic.
Incredible. Yeah, we've got some pictures here from yesterday. We'll go to that now. We'll take a look at that now.
England have the Ashes once again as triumphant captain and man of the series Andrew Strauss lifted the tiny trophy that means so much to Australia and England. The teams came out for start of play and before they knew it, openers Katic and Watson were back in the pavilion. Aussie captain Ricky Ponting and Mike Hussey put on a dogged partnership. Thankfully Andrew Flintoff was able to make his mark in his farewell game. Brilliant fielding and a strong arm saw Ponting run out. Australia's best batsman of the series, Michael Clarke, was also run out straight away, Kerr skipper Strauss. Before they knew it, England had claimed 7 Aussie wickets. Veteran of 2005 Steve Harmison just couldn't seal a hat-trick after claiming the wickets of Peter Siddle and Stuart Clark in quick succession. It was left to Graham Swan to wrap up the Aussies' innings as Mike Hussey threw in the towel after a deserved century. Scenes of celebration and a fairy tale swan song for one of England's greatest ever players, as Andrew Flintoff bowed out of the Test arena on the ultimate high.
We'll talk about Flintoff now. He didn't bowl particularly well, he didn't bat particularly well, he didn't really field particularly well in that game, but just that telling little bit of impact, and that's why he was the talisman of the team, really, I suppose.
Yeah, he's typical Fred, really. He's always got to be involved somewhere along the line. If he doesn't do it with the bat or the ball, he pulls something out in the field, and he doesn't even normally field there. He normally fields at second slip, as if it's fate that he was destined to be there and get the wicket, which turned the day, really. You know, before that, Ponting was looking in supreme form, and it was crucial.
Well, that's it. I mean, they actually looked quite comfortable at that point, almost, didn't they?
Yeah, I mean, I was knowing what England are like and what Australia have been like in the past, they never give up. I was quite fearful that, you know, Australia might pull this one off. Can you believe it? They might get all those runs. And until they broke that partnership, I don't think it was ever really safe. People said, oh, it's in the bag. But until they broke that partnership, you know, that was when you could start celebrating. Oh, we are. Especially where cricket's concerned.
Unbelievable second innings from Australia. But we're still worried.
You'd never rule it out, though, do you, with the Aussies?
No,
that's the
right.
thing. Yeah.
You are right. But why do you think this series wasn't quite as popular as the one back in 2005?
Yeah, well, I think it was such a long time since we won the Ashes in 2005. And the fact that the Australians were the best team in the world then, everybody knew all the players, people like Warne, Gilchrist, you know, everybody knew them. This team, it's a new team that's come through. And apart from the cricket people, you know, who follow cricket day in, day out, most of the names I wouldn't have heard of. They might have heard of Ponting, but that would have been about it. So I think there's been not as much spotlight on Australia, and you know, this is the best team in the world that we're going to beat. So I think that's one of the reasons. Plus, the games haven't been as exciting as they were 4 years ago. Everybody was into cricket 4 years ago with how close the games were. 20,000 locked outside Old Trafford, you know, for that third Test on the final day. And TV coverage has a bit to do with it as well. That it was on terrestrial TV before this time.
It's been said about that as well, isn't it?
Exactly, and maybe the ECB need to look at that in the future.
Yeah, indeed. But I mean, where do English cricket, where does it go from here? Obviously, they're losing Flintoff now. He's out of the one-day series as well against Australia because he's having his operation. But can we build on this then?
We have to. You know, the thing is, England have to move on. I mean, Flintoff's gone as a Test cricketer now. They can't live on Flintoff anymore. They've got to move on. They've got Kevin Peterson, who's coming back. He's got to be the talisman of the team now. You've got Stuart Broad, who's come in now, and he's Flintoff's replacement. He will have to bat at 7 now and bowl as well as he did at the weekend. So, yeah, this is something that English cricket needs to build on.
Trott, absolute shining light. What a debut from him as well. You mentioned him before, of course, but we expected him to get runs, but quite that many, I'm not sure.
Exactly. I mean, people were calling for Ramprakash to come in, and I said, well, you've got to stick with the person who was in the squad beforehand, and that was Trott. So give him a chance, and I'd like to see him move up to number 3 now. I think he's got the ability to bat there. Yeah,
because there's been a lot of doubt over Para, really, as well. I'm sure he'll come back in for these one-dayers, but perhaps not number 3, I suppose.
No, I think Trott is a Test number 3 batsman, and they've got to put him there and give him a run there now. And Bopara let him move down the order a little bit. But I think the future is good. It's a big test in the winter now. They've got South Africa, who are the best team in the world, in South Africa. That's going to be a huge test.
Indeed. A quick mention of Lancashire as well. Obviously, they got beat yesterday, but their season's petered out a little bit, I suppose.
It has really, yes. I mean, the Championship done and running away with it. The semi-final defeat by Hampshire in the FPT and the 2020 bowl out. I mean, that's kind of ended the season, really.
Yeah.
So it's been a good first season for Peter Moores and something to build on for next year.
Great. Well, thanks very much for coming in today, Chris, and talking cricket. Great day for it.
Yeah, brilliant.
Thank you.